everyone, and welcome to another speed build. Today I'm sharing a pub that I made in Britechester to replace the one that was already there, which as far as EA builds go, I don't think was actually that bad. It was actually kind of cute, and there were some things on it that I thought were well done, but the inside of it was pretty sparse. The second level of it I think only had a ping pong table and maybe a pub table, and that was it. So I wanted to create something that had more going on with it, and I felt it would be more fun to have your organizations meet at. So the second level of this build is packed full of different activities. There's 3 ping pong tables up there, there's a couple of foosball tables, there's a couple of those don't wake the llama tables, and there's also 2 dartboards and just the sitting area. So I think it will be a lot more fun to use, and those get-together pub games were absolutely perfect for a build like this. I mean, obviously they couldn't use those in the original one because they're just limited to Discover University and the base game, but I don't have to worry about that, so I just wanted to throw a bunch of those in. And the first level of it is, of course, just it's just kind of this cozy pub area with a bar and tables, and there's another seating area in front of a fireplace. And with the outside of this, I did take some inspiration from the original build because I actually liked what they did on the lower level with the blue paneling and the blue windows and doors and the awning. That was really cute. So that was something I wanted to keep in this one because I thought that was actually a really nice color scheme, and that is part of why I named this the Blue Horse, because I was looking up British pub names because I wanted to try to give this a British pub type of a name, and I did see that the Red Lion is apparently the most common pub name in England, but I didn't think that quite fitted this because, you know, the external color scheme of it is of course blue. And I ended up putting this one decoration that came with Discover University that's kind of like a pub sign up, and it did have what looked like a horse on it, so I thought naming it the Blue Horse was very fitting because of that. And I did also see when looking at the list of most popular pub names that I think the White Horse and the Red Horse were also some other popular names. And I was also trying to look at pictures of British pubs for inspiration when making this, because it is really the feel I wanted to get for this, and I believe Britechester was supposed to be based on the UK. The thing that I was most looking forward to with this build was finally getting a chance to use the more traditional build items that came with this pack, because so far I've just made more modern builds in the Foxbury Institute area, so obviously none of these items are going to work over there, and I was going to have my rebuild of the Foxbury Commons be my next speed build or be in place of this one, but I just want to take a break from those more modern builds and get to use some of these items that I haven't been able to use yet. But that will be my next speed build because I have already started on my Foxbury Commons build, so I'm hoping to have that up sometime early next week. It is going to be a bit of a larger build, so I don't know how long it's going to take because I was trying to get a little bit more creative with the design of it, so I'm really excited to share that with you all when I'm done with it. And after that, I want to work on either rebuilding or renovating one of the dorms in Britechester, because that is something else I've been really wanting to do, and I just have so many ideas for builds that I want to do for this pack. Like, I want to make this really crappy house that a bunch of random roommates live in that found their place through whatever the Sims equivalent of Craigslist is, because as I mentioned in other videos, that's kind of a situation that I found myself in college. So I think it'd be kind of fun to channel that a little bit and build something sort of like that. I mean, it's definitely not going to be a recreation of that because I want to make it in the more British style that Britechester is in, but I think it'd be really fun to do something like that, like with a house that's falling apart and there's a bunch of very different roommates living in it who don't always get along the best, and maybe I can make a create-a-sim to go with it, because it has been a while since I've done a create-a-sim, and something else I wanted to do is maybe give the Pleasant Twins a townie makeover and renovate their house, because I am doing a Let's Play for them in The Sims 2, like a whole Pleasant Family Let's Play series, so I think it'd be kind of fun to give the Sims 4 version of them a makeover and redo their house a little bit. I don't know if I'll have a chance to do all of the things that I want to do, because I tend to, like, you know, just have all of these ideas and then not enough time to really get them out, but we'll see. I mean, I've got a bit more time than usual to build right now, so I'll probably get more of the things that I want to do done. But at this point, the structure of the build is done, the wallpaper and everything is done, like most of the details are done. So right now I'm working on the lot around it, and there is this really nice outdoor eating area to the left side of this building. So I just used a bunch of those tables from, I think it was Get Together with the umbrella over them, because they were just really cute and they really fit the style of this. But I did go through the debug menu and pull out a bunch of stuff, like rather than having, you know, grass and putting the trees on the grass, I just used these tree guards to put the tree in, which does work really well when you want to have trees on an area that's paved. And then I also found this item, which they're kind of like bollards. I don't know what exactly they're supposed to be, but I ended up using them as bike racks or like things that you would attach your bike to. I mean, they're not quite like what a normal bike rack would be, because honestly, in real life, you would get your bike stolen if you try to attach it to that, most likely, because someone could probably just lift the bike up over the top and, you know, remove it that way. Like, I just remember that when I was in college, like, I had a bike, and people stealing your bike was a huge worry. So you had to, like, I think I had like 2 locks for my bike, or I don't know. I used like some kind of crazy lock because I really did not want to get my bike stolen. So yeah, that was like a huge thing where you had to be very careful about what you attached your bike to and all of that. Like, it had to be something someone couldn't like just lift your bike up off of. But anyway, we had that. And then I also put that decoration that looked like, I think, a newspaper stand. I thought that was kind of cool and added this realistic feel to it. And then I also thought putting those that brick corner item on the edges of the fence looked really nice. And then I found this ivy in, like, this is one of the items from, like, one of the world objects from Discover University that you could get if you put in the, I forget what the cheat, it was like show, I need to remember, like, because I have it, like, I have one of those Stream Deck things, so I just have it, like, put in, so I just hit a button and it puts a cheat in. I think it was like show live edit objects or something like that was a cheat. But yeah, if you put in that cheat and then sort it by Discover University, you can find this really cool ivy decoration that I put all over the building. It just looks so nice, and it kind of fits around the windows and doors very nicely. But here you can see I have all the tables and chairs out here, and I just continue that whole blue color scheme out here. And then I also added these string lights from toddler stuff around it. I just thought that really added to it and just made it look really adorable out here. I don't know, it just looks very cute. But that is it for the exterior, so now we're on to the interior. And I was trying to make this area around the bar look a little bit more built in, so what I decided to try doing was putting some kitchen cabinets up above it to look kind of like a bulkhead, because I didn't really like how it looked with the bar just kind of floating in the middle of the room like that. Like, the top part of it just didn't really look quite right, so I wanted to make it look like it was kind of closed off from that point up to the ceiling. So I think putting the cabinets facing backwards above that kind of helped with that and really made it look like it was just a bulkhead. And then I just kind of added some walls around it, and then that bar back, I guess you would call that, I think that's what that's called, from Get Together behind it. I just thought that really went with that whole college-y vibe, and I used a lot of items from Get Together throughout this build because it just perfectly fit in with the vibe of this. Like, the items from Discover University combined with the items from Get Together just make for a really good pub. So I'm just kind of getting all of these different pub height tables out here and adding some different chairs. And I was going to use the university chairs for it, but I really like the look of these ones from Get Together. So I just kind of mix and match different swatches of it so it doesn't all look like the same thing. And I was just trying to give this place a look of being very full and kind of kitschy, so you'll see a lot of wall decorations all over the place. Like with this build, I was just trying to fill in almost every empty wall space with a bunch of random decorations, and once again, it was a mixture of things from Get Together and Discover University. It just like, they just go together like peas in a pod, and then we got this really cozy sitting area right in front of the fireplace. And I ended up getting rid of one of the sets of tables and chairs because I was worried that things were becoming a little bit too packed in. Because I did want to try to make sure that you had enough space for your Sims to get a school cheer going on. Because from the gameplay that I have done, like, Sims will kind of, like, when the Spirit Corps or Spirit Squad meets there from the 2 different universities, they'll try to get cheers going, and usually, like, Sims will just kind of stand in a circle around them. So I didn't want to clutter things in or close things in too much and make it a little bit harder for that to happen. But here I was trying to add some decorations to the top of the bar. Like, we just got some olives and I think chili peppers there. Like, just kind of, I like adding those to bars because they feel like things that they would maybe mix in the drinks, you know, like if they're making a martini or something like that. And then we just got a menu there. And I was trying to add these crests out here to that fireplace or that chimney area, but didn't quite work out. And here it is pulling out a whole bunch of different wall decorations, like things that I knew I would want to use in here. I did want to cover up the cabinets above the bar a little bit though, because the woods didn't exactly match. So I just raised that banner up there to look like something that was strung across above the bar, and I thought that really added to the atmosphere of this place. But right now I'm trying to just sort out what decorations go where. So I have a mixture of Boxbury and Britechester posters all over the place. And I added these ones over here near the bathroom that looked like the ones that the other school marked up. And I just love the idea of that for this place. Kind of like someone started, I don't know who, and then someone from the other school saw that and they're like, okay, fine, if you're gonna do that, we're gonna go and mark up your poster. And it's kind of like this, you know, of course there's like this whole rivalry between the schools, so I thought that worked really well to kind of try to show that within this pub. And here we just have a single table in front of the bathroom. I was trying to put 2 chairs around it, and then I realized that didn't fit in, but I kind of like the idea of a single table over there, like it's for someone who is there alone and maybe just really wants to focus on studying, although this probably isn't really the best studying environment. But here we're onto the bathroom, and I'm hoping that it's not too much of an issue that this place has just a single bathroom and a single toilet. I think that's how the original one was. I didn't really get too close of a look at the bathroom. So I'm hoping that that was the case and that is something that will be fine, because I mean, usually not every sim is trying to go to the bathroom at the same time, so I don't think you need a million toilet stalls all over the place. But I was just trying to continue the look of a bunch of banners and posters everywhere in the bathroom there. So we of course have yet more school specific things above the toilet. But that is it for the lower level of the bar, so now we're on to the upper level, which is the fun place, because as I mentioned earlier, we just have a whole bunch of different activities up here, and we've also got that bulletin board, or that chalkboard over there near the window that looks like it's for keeping scores. Here I was just trying to figure out how to fit everything in without it causing any issues. Like, I was trying to place all the different things so that their areas didn't intersect with each other, because I didn't want to have any issues. Like, I was trying to move the ping pong tables back a little bit so you didn't have any issues with Sims clipping into them or clipping into Sims playing ping pong while trying to play darts. And then we have another little sitting area over here. And I was also trying to give this bar a little bit of a shabby feel, because I thought that really fit the whole university vibe. And I mean, I did also give this the university student spot latte, I think it was called, and that does make things cheaper. So I feel like to go with that, this bar just had to have kind of a divey, cheap look to it, but I mean, it still is pretty nice. You know, it doesn't feel like a full-on dive bar, but obviously it's not going to be something that's super nice. So currently I have all the different games fit in, so I'm just kind of trying to rearrange, make sure there's no issues with Sims getting stuck behind the chair in a corner, not being able to get out, because that does happen if you move those. Like, if I had moved those don't make the llama tables too close to the wall, then you would have had that annoying issue, and that's just not something you really want to deal with on a community lot. But I did play test this, and your Sims can use all the games fine, so there shouldn't be any issues with this. And then I'm just adding in a whole bunch of different wall decorations up here. As I mentioned, I just filled in everywhere. I just wanted to have that look of like just history, and like there's pictures, like older pictures at Britechester around here. And then I was also adding these banners from Get Together in here, like the ones that were for the different clubs. Because I was thinking maybe those are banners for different organizations that meet here. I mean, those don't specifically go with all of the organizations that are here for, like, you know, that are within the different universities, but, you know, you could always make clubs and stuff, so maybe it fits those. I also want to mention that the very last thing you'll see me do here is add some spandrels across the room, just because I wanted to add more of that old-fashioned look to this building. Like, this is something that's very historic, so I thought that gave it the look of there being rafters up here. But we're almost at the end of the building part of the video, so as usual, there will be a link to download this in the description below. There will be other stuff in there, how to find it in-game, and that's going to be all from me, so if you enjoyed the rest of the video.